Good morning and welcome to week 2. This week has kicked off with a little hiccup. Up much earlier today on my first run of the week than I anticipated being, not for any other reason than tagging in for wifey who was dealing with irritable bowel syndrome of one of the dogs last night. So she had the poops. Anyways, that gives me a chance for an extra cup of coffee, really. That's where we're headed. And we'll get things off and go in here shortly. What I wanted to mention is that the big goal for this week for me, and it's going to be a tougher one that I haven't really addressed yet, is that as I stick to the plan and get my runs in and get my nutrition and my recovery, something that happens to everybody that does a lot of marathon or ultra running is the reality is they might gain some weight. And that's a really hard thing for me. You know, I was over 300 pounds at 16. I've battled it my whole life going up and down. I have probably a very unhealthy relationship with food and how I eat. I've done every type of diet from keto to low carb to paleo to you name it, I've done it. I have a very unhealthy relationship with the scale. So it needs to either stay or go down. And then when that starts to fall off track, it's very easy for me to collapse mentally. So what I'm hoping to accomplish here is that I recognize food is fuel. It's for recovery. It's going to give me the ability to do the thing. And doing the thing matters more. So the goal this week, the choice I'm going to make is to not let scale changes bother me. And it sounds really easy, and it's going to be really hard because I've already gone up a little bit. And considering I'm running and eating whole foods and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, the fact the scale's going a different direction, specifically up, inside, it's like an itch to scratch that I need to drop calories or I need to make a change. And sticking to this plan is really important. Otherwise, the 50K is going to result in either I'm not going to be able to do it or I'm going to hurt myself. And I think that's the reality I need to shift my head to. Longevity, sustainability, quality of life. You know, the scale matters to a point, but the scale isn't the only indicator. In fact, it probably isn't the prime indicator. And I got to get away from that. I've worked hard to get myself into a reasonable body composition that I'm happy with. And that's really all that matters. But I know that my blood work is fantastic. My doctor likes exactly where I am. Dog over there mucking around. Everything's good, and I want to keep that, and I want to build off of that. So we're going to have to develop a better relationship with food, activity, longevity, and the scale. That's a big task while in the middle of trying to train for an ultra marathon, but I think it's a wonderful byproduct that will come from this. I know people joke about ultra marathons and long distance running, people not having healthy relationships with anything. I'd argue back a little bit on that one. You need to have a pretty healthy relationship with your confidence in who you are and what you're capable of doing. So I know I'm capable of overcoming this stuff. It's making those small, consistent choices that matter. So the choice this week, amongst all the other pieces that are becoming consistent choices, is this week as I'm choosing to not let the scale bother me. So I'll catch up with you at the end of the week as a recap and see how that actually went. Who knows? But big goal for today. I got an hour run, and I'm looking forward to try to get a couple more kilometers under those feet in that run because I feel really good. I rested well, and I've fueled well. Anyways, I'll catch up with you all soon. All right, just finished my hour, hit 5 miles. Here's what I did today. I'm hoping there's some improvement because I can't quite remember. I will admit today I had a little extra motivation. Not sure if I heard air brakes from a transport in a distance or potentially a larger animal. Saw a couple of people walking some bigger dogs. I like to believe they didn't take them off leash this early in the morning. Part of me kind of hopes they did, and it was just the dog growling, not something else. I may not be a big fan of people letting their dogs off leash in public places, but as an early morning trail runner, I think I feel a little better contending with a dog
than anything else that might be running around. And I certainly know that if a dog is running around, it's going to distract and potentially push away a lot of things that I worry about. If you're a trail runner or you hike in the woods, what's your number one concern? Where I am, mountain lions aren't exactly prevalent, although I've heard of it. But to be honest, I'm actually more worried about running into a skunk. That would definitely ruin the day and make for a very long week. Anyways, good run today. Let's go get some food and get on with the week.
Nothing crazy tasty here. Running and durability training, some scrambled eggs, cinnamon raisin bagel, and my leftover berries. Not always going to be fancy, but it's going to get me everything I need. I've got a Fairlife protein shake I'll probably drink mid-morning. That gets everything up to exactly where the numbers need to be, and I'm good to grab some lunch out, which is probably going to be a sub or a pita. Really easy way to do it. So that's where we are. All right, breakfast, shower, away we go. Catch you later.
Well, I should hold myself accountable and say that this is an easy run because I can film. The easy runs this week have been interesting. I want it to keep, my body wants to go faster, but I know these easy runs are part of technique, time on feet, recovery. And I'll be honest, now that I've moved to durability training for my legs and being cognizant of my hips, my knees, these recovery runs actually are really good. I didn't realize how impactful they are. And the fact that my heart rate sits around 130 from my Garmin on my wrist, and it's just a cheap Garmin. When I've actually put my heart rate monitor strap on, it's closer to like 117, 120, which is a recovery run. Anyways, this programming is amazing. It's not gonna revolutionize anything. It's probably what everybody else does. But embracing the programming, having a plan, sticking to the plan, such a confidence builder, gives me tons of micro wins. Every time I complete a day of training that's on the plan, it's been amazing. So my advice to anybody starting or anybody along the way, the idea of sticking it in your calendar. Heck, I connected Claude to my calendar. AI gave it my plan and told it to populate my calendar. The fact that I get to check it off my calendar every day before I have breakfast, before I start my day, I'm starting every day on a win and a high, regardless how far this run goes, how fast I go. I get to the end of it and it's like totally keeping the runners high all day. So I know that'll eventually wear off, but it's awesome now, that's for sure. All right, been another 10 minutes and then breakfast. God, I love eating after running. All right, catch you later.
All right, it's been a busy day. Actually, we very fortunate, got a lot done. Woke up early. I actually did a bunch of work before my recovery run. So like 5:30 in the morning, I had the computer going. And then got my recovery run done this morning, which I think I highlighted. I did some protein pancakes when I got back, just flourish. I've had a blueberry, kale, avocado, protein powder, a little bit of fiber, smoothie with a Dempster's protein bagel. That was like mid-morning. Went out, cut up a bunch of wood that we're selling roadside for firewood because we've put it with our vegetable and egg stand. And it's time for some lunch. So what I've got is I've got some ground turkey. We'll mix this up earlier in the week. I saute spinach. I added feta and I added sun-dried tomatoes and a bunch of seasoning, the usual garlic, salt, pepper, onion, you know. Anyways, and what I do is I make a smash burger out of it. So, I mean, I could do a burger or whatever. This is just quick, and it's just, when you press down the ground turkey, it just cooks easier and still doesn't dry out, which makes me a big fan of it. I try to go for around 200 grams of this stuff, give or take, so we'll make it work. And while we're cooking this, actually I got a cool surprise that showed up, so. Ground chicken and turkey, you wash hands. All right, so while that's cooking, I got something. I found a really cool deal. So I got the new Ultras, Wild Experience 3 for the trail. Super happy with them. Really, really like them. I like my Ultra Wild Experience 2. I love the shape of the Ultra. The guys at the running room told me my wide foot would appreciate Ultra. Don't even have to buy the wide version of an Ultra. I just get the regular version. So I've been finding that my easy runs, just based on scheduling, etc., and for really trying to keep my heart rate down, I've been just doing them on the road. And I'm finding it's not horrible in the trail shoes, but I don't have a pair of road shoes at all. Got an old pair of Nikes and they're horrible. Actually, I noticed it made my knee flare right up. So I went online to Ultra's site, had a little look around. I don't need the newest model, so I bought last year's model. And if I remember correctly, yep, I got the Torin 8 instead of the Torin 9 because Torin 9 just came out. So because of that, I got these beautiful bad boys. I will admit, love the look. I know white's just gonna get killed. It always does. But I really like the neon and the fluorescent color. Makes you go faster. You know that, right? Anyways, something new for road running. See? Ta-da! No idea if you saw that. I've got this on a filming mode. It's completely different. You can press it down with your hand. Just don't touch the pan, obviously. And boom, you're done. I do have a press. I use it for the barbecue when I make smash burgers. I don't know what this affinity with smash burgers is. I've always smashed the burgers because that way they're evenly cooked. Apparently that's a big thing. All right, there's lunch. Turkey smash burgers with sun-dried tomatoes, spinach, and feta cheese, a little bit of spicy mayo, whole wheat tortillas, rock and roll, and had my kiwi. Gonna get these down and then back to chore life. What I've said before, what it's like to have a busy life and try to balance all this stuff for the 50K and do this ultra training. I do. I was in Toronto this week. It's 3 hours from the house. I was out there for work, made my way back. Did some errands with my dad as well. Got him around to some appointments while I was out there. Yeah, balance where you can. But I think this idea of having the carb drink with the electrolytes and the caffeine a lot in the morning instead of sitting and trying to consume an entire coffee, do that with my mobility, probably get me out the door faster because I know times are going to get increased. And I think that'll move over earlier. And since I'm naturally getting up between 4:30 and 5 anyways, with great sleep, because I've been prioritizing my magnesium at night before I go to bed, which I wasn't doing before, it's been a big change. So anyways, things are going great. Looking forward to a long run on Sunday, probably the next thing I'll film then. And then, yeah, we'll wrap up the week. So thanks for coming along for the ride. Morning. Long run Sunday. So get ready to go. We got Dempster's protein bagel, banana, a little bit of organic strawberry jam. Coffee, of course, Farm Cat, and then I do have some collagen I'll throw into my coffee. And then this has got some electrolytes and creatine, just water. And we'll get all this in, give it at least a half hour or so, maybe a little longer, and then we'll make our way out.
Long run Sunday, 3 hours, maybe almost half hour in. I deliberately made sure my first mile was slow, painfully slow, but huge difference. Really let me warm up, even though I do all the pogos, squats, and lunges and activation work. But putting in like a 15 to 17 mile pace for that first half hour really just got everything moving. Look, you're in your 40s, 50s, and you want to do ultra marathons, these long distance stuff, and trails. I gotta think injury, or at least it is for me, is my biggest concern. So just keep on top of that. But now, a little bit of pace, we'll get rocking and rolling, and yeah, catch you guys at the end. That was 3 hours, and I don't think I went as far as I hoped I would, but I went the whole way. I was stiff. It took a little while to get things moving, but to be honest, I had a really long day yesterday of rest, yes, but I didn't eat enough, drink enough, and get to bed at the right time. And definitely feel it. Definitely feel it. That 2 hours of sleep made a huge difference. So we know that for next week. But got it done. Did more last time. And it was all trail, no road today. So all technical. So that was pretty good. Anyways, it's been a great week. We'll wrap it up here. Thanks.
All right, end of the week. I survived. Worth noting, so I'm supposed to celebrate with you wins and losses, or setbacks, or challenges, or whatever. So first off, wins, we got it done. We 49.5 kilometers total this week on 5 runs. So 6.5 hours roughly time on Strava, which in theory would be amazing to think I could strap together 6.5 hours and actually run this 50K. But I'll tell you, after today's 3 hours and only accomplishing just under 20, I'm not optimistic that's how that's going to translate, but we'll see. The mistakes or the challenges or setbacks or things I kind of messed up this week. Friday, I overdid it. So way too much, even though it was like a recovery run. I found myself outside the heat a lot. I had a very busy day, did not give myself a little bit of rest. Played ball on Friday night, which isn't too extravagant, but it was late and I didn't eat well. So I caught myself with a bit of a chill late Friday night, which I'm assuming was either undercaloried or overexhausted, like overexertion or something. So that was not fun. And then I didn't sleep well Friday night, which I thought was because of that. And then it wasn't the case, just the bedroom's running hot. So that's a problem, and I don't do well with that. So Saturday was a rest day, which was good all around, except I stayed up too late. And I really noticed it today. That a 2 hour window of staying up, I guess I'm old. And then with all this training going on, that definitely caught up. So it took a lot longer to get going today. Instead of a 20-30 minute get start, it probably took me the full hour. And that really set back the time for today. I probably should have had closer to 21 or 22 kilometers, at least I thought so. So to not break 20, I mean, I probably could have just stumbled around the parking lot for maybe the extra minute and I would have got there, but let's just say it. Anyways, you're not gonna let any of that set me back. I mean, I still ran almost 50 kilometers this week, and I still put 3 hours in today. And even though I kind of didn't feel like I wanted to, I had a million reasons to slow down today, but we got it done. Now we got a day in front of us, day of rest tomorrow, eating, all the fun stuff. So, anyways, since I froze myself way too much in this pool, I'm gonna go dry off, have some food, and get back at it. So, thanks for watching. For those that are watching, the like, subscribe, all that jazz. I don't know. I imagine it all will add up in the end. Anyways, and I'll get back at it, and I'll see you all next week.